Leading from the front, the Trailblazer. This is episode 186 of the 30. Welcome. Well, hello there, folks. Welcome to the third. This is episode 186. We're moving up to episode 200, and we're also moving up to our fourth year of broadcasting this program. I want to thank you for being here. I want to thank you for everything that you've done to support this program. As I said, we are moving on our fourth year. Coming in April, it'll be 4 years for the 30, and you have given us your support continuously, week after week, month after month, year after year. And certainly I want to thank you for everything that you've done and for being here. Do me a huge favor, share, like, and share the broadcast. We are streaming live to 3 destinations. If you are watching from YouTube, make sure that you like the broadcast or this episode. Make sure that you share it, but more importantly, make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Subscribe and hit the notification button so that when we are on, you'll be notified that you are with us. So thank you for doing that. We have an exciting episode for today. We bring nothing but the best to you. And this episode, this is part of a series that we're going to be running. And this one is called Leading from the Front, the Trailblazer. We have a gentleman that he is certainly a trailblazer in everything that he does. I met him on a peer program that we're on Friday mornings. Shout out to Erica, and that is the Virtual Summiteers. Shout out to all my fellow Summiteers. And I met Harry, the big dog Jamison. So I want to find out, where did he get the name the big dog from? That's one of the questions that I certainly want to find that out. But I am going to bring Harry up, and remember, we have something I told you last week that we're going to be at the end of the show, that we're going to be talking and giving you some information of our program that we're going to be having towards the end of February. So stick around, because I want to make sure that you have that information and that you don't leave, right? So Harry, welcome to the 30. I think this is solo. This is your first time on the program. I know I had you here at the end of December of last year, 2023, but this is your first time coming solo. So welcome.
Thank you for having me. Thank you, Sabrina. Thank you, Alfreda. Hopefully I didn't chop that name up.
Nope. Shout out to Sabrina and Alfreda and everyone that is coming to us. Let me put up here. All right, Sabrina said that. Alfreda, you're in the house. Thank you. And she calls you welcome, Mr. Harry.
Yeah.
Wow.
Making me feel old now. I know I got a lot of grades in there, but...
Well, join the crew here. So, Harry, first, tell our viewers who's Harry and what you do, and then we're going to come back and talk about how did you get the name the Big Dog. So, who is Harry?
Who is Harry? Harry is a native New Yorker. I'm in the Illinois area near St. Louis now. I'm a Army veteran, 26 and a half years. I'm a husband. I'm a father. And of course, I'm a big dog.
You're a Big Dog. Okay. All right. All right. Well, let's get right to it. How did you get the name the Big Dog?
Back in the day, I used to throw a lot of parties. And there was a actual company called Big Dog. And I used to wear all their shirts. Well, one of the particular shirts had the small letters Big Dog here and a picture of a big dog. So when people would refer to me, they would say, "Go, you see the big dog right there? Go see him." And then the name just stuck. And you talk about from the late 90s
Wow.
on to now.
So you must like it then, because
Oh yeah.
that's your name, Harry the
Oh
Big
yeah.
Dog Jamison.
The
So
big dog.
the Big Dog. Now, in terms of your military experience, you said 26 and a half years. Thank you for that. And you had how many years in the reserve? And it was in the Army. How many years in the reserves? And how many years was it for active duty?
I had 19 years of reserve time, and I did it backwards. Most people do regular Army first and then go into the reserves. I did 19 years of the Army Reserves, and then I went active duty for 7.5 years.
Okay. And how was your experience?
I
Because I know
loved,
that you have something that's coming up, and we'll
oh
talk
yeah,
about that, right? But
I loved every minute of it and hated some of the minutes of it.
sure, sure. Like anything else in life.
The military is not for everybody, and it's not the easiest thing to do.
Yeah. Yeah. But 26 and a half years, that's a long time. So
Yeah,
thank you again
long time.
for that. And then you transition, and now you've been online in the online space for a number of years. So let's talk
Yes.
about that in terms of what you do, and well, not what, because you do many things in the online
Yeah.
space.
Yeah,
But
you
let's
gotta
talk about the
correct that.
many things that you do.
We we're gonna stick with the live streaming aspect of it because we'll be on here for the next 3 hours if I had to explain everything that I did. But I am a live streamer. I have a couple of different shows. I actually interview DJs, and that show I have over 100 episodes. I have a show with my partner, the Jason Hodge, and I think
Mhm.
he's been on here on your
Yes, he
show
has.
too. We have a show called Mastering Your Media, and my baby, which is what we're here to talk about, I do a show called Veterans Laughs Matter. And that is a comedy show for us veterans who suffer from depression, PTSD, and all other ailments that comes along with being in the military that long.
And is this something new, Harry, that you're doing, or have you done it before?
Yeah, I did a show in 2020, in December of 2020, around the holidays, and it was a real success. The it always brings emotions to me because of what it stands for. It is a comedy show for the veterans who are thinking about, committing suicide. Nobody loves me, severe depression, don't want to be any around anyone. So that's where it gets my heart at. So I thought putting on a comedy show would kind of take that person out of that mindset just for that few minutes when they're thinking about those crazy things.
Mm. And how did this come about, Harry? Is that coming from personal experience or
Yeah,
friends?
both. personal experience. I do suffer from PTSD, and this is something we military don't talk about, but I do, and I really just kind of admitted it and said it publicly probably back in 2021, but been suffering for years. And I see a lot of my friends after the military, they kind of go into, you see a physical change from a person who used to smile all the time to somebody who's just looking like this and worried and stressed. And I just wanted to make people feel good, make people laugh. So yes, it comes from both personal experience and being around my friends.
And is this something that has been done before? Because part of the title of the show is "Leading from the Front, the Trailblazer." Is this something that has been done, or is this a show that's unique to itself?
I don't think it's unique. I mean, you have your comedians who go overseas, you have your comedians who go to certain bases, military bases, and they perform. So I don't think it's unique. I think what's unique about what I'm doing is it's a veteran doing it for the veterans. So I think that's where the uniqueness kind of separates.
That's good. That's good. So you are truly a trailblazer in terms of making sure that you're not just helping yourself, but more importantly, you're helping others who go through similar experiences that you have experienced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy how the military and we call you guys civilians. A lot of times you don't understand what we go through. So the military community kind of talks and sticks together for itself because I know what you went through.
Yeah.
I know how you feeling. I know how you may feel tomorrow or next week because I feel that same way.
Sure. Sure. And is this an online or is it in person?
It's actually both. It's going to be a hybrid event. I'm doing
Okay.
a live portion of it. I'm actually in school for film. So we got blessed by the school to have the auditorium to do it there live.
Oh wow.
Yes. And then I'm going to do it on the Zoom platform because
Okay.
that's what most people are familiar with.
Okay. Okay. And what day? Give us the date and time, Harry.
It is going to be March 23rd, 2024 at 7 p.m. CST, 8 p.m. Eastern Time.
Okay, so 8 p.m. Eastern time on the West Coast, that would be 5
West
p.m.
Coast is 5 p.m.
Right.
PST.
Yeah. And then in Hawaii, I think that is what,
In
maybe,
the morning.
and I think that may be 2 or 3 o'clock p.m. Hawaii time, if I'm not
Yes.
mistaken. Yeah. All
And
right.
and
So,
I see your message, Alfreda. I see,
yes,
and
yes.
I am not ashamed anymore.
Hmm. Yeah,
People do look at you differently, as I thought they would
sure.
look at you differently when you tell people, because when again a civilian hears PTSD, they're thinking you're gonna, go do something really bad but it's not an action. It's just a lot of times a state of mind.
Yeah. That's great, Harry. That's fantastic, and I know many people will be blessed and as a result of this. So kudos to you for coming up with the idea and executing on the idea. That's a tremendous thing. That's what trailblazers do, right?
Yes,
You come up
yes.
with the idea, but more importantly, you implement and you execute on the idea that you have. So, who else is involved outside of the university or college giving you the auditorium? Who else is involved in this endeavor?
I have a couple of my instructors that's involved. I have the school faculty, the Veterans Services Department. that's involved. I have a couple of donors that's involved. I have we just finished meeting with one of the comedians, female comedian, and she's going to be involved. It's going to be about five comedians. Everybody's doing a 10-minute set. I don't want it to be that long, but I want the veterans to get a good feel of different people and smile from everybody. There's going to be some awards that's given out. There's going to be recognition. I'm looking to have some mental health people there to talk about what they do in the services in the local area. You know, really, really getting involved with this thing. I'm all about the veterans.
That's awesome. That's great, Harry. So congratulations again. If if we can help in terms of promotions, certainly where to come to. So
Roger that. Roger that.
yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. That's a great thing that you're doing. Let's talk about some of the other things that you do. I know you did something for the 50 years of hip hop. So let's
Oh
talk
yeah.
about that. What you
Yeah.
did.
Well, I am like I said in the beginning, I'm a native of New York. I'm from the Bronx, New York, and that's the birthplace of hip hop. So and I'm claiming it. I don't care who anybody else say where they from, and we did this for no. That's the
I thought it was from
Bronx.
Brooklyn. I thought it was Brooklyn.
No, the Bronx. And so I had a couple of friends that called me down to film some of the events that went on. One of the events was a bigger one in Times Square around the 45th Street area. It was big because it was the first time Times Square ever let hip hop perform. So, and I got to film that whole event. The last day, I should say, because it was a 3-day event. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday was the finals and everything, and they celebrated the graffiti artists, the MCs, the dancers, the DJs, and it was just so nice. It seemed like hundreds of thousands of people was there. The place was crazy, and I just had a great time. And that wasn't the only event. I think I filmed maybe 6 or 7 different events, going from the Bronx, New York, to New Jersey, to Baltimore, to Virginia, to here in the Illinois, St. Louis metro area. And it's just, I was in Atlanta, in the Atlanta area, and it is just so nice to celebrate these artists, and you have to feel for some of the originators from the artists, because they're a lot of them are still struggling,
Absolutely.
even though
Yeah.
they created this
Yeah.
and other people profited off of it.
As
But
pioneers, it's always tough as a
yes,
pioneer to someone
yes,
come and pick it up and profit from it, and the pioneer is the one that started but still struggling.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Sabrina says, "Are you sure? I thought it was started in New Jersey."
no, Sabrina. I gotta catch up with her when I get back to New Jersey.
I thought it was in Brooklyn or Queens, not the Bronx. No, don't. Now, here's the big question, and I know my wife is watching this, so she would want to know this as well. Did you video record Dougie Fresh?
No, but he was there.
Mm.
I got a chance to see him. He didn't want to come and perform or anything. He was just there on his bike. Of
Wow.
all things, he was there, and he was standing on the outside, and he was like, "Oh, come in, come in, come in." He was like, "No, no, no, I'm gonna just stay out here." But yeah, I did see him.
Okay. So, what are you going to do with all the video footage? Have you put it out there yet?
Does that uncomfortable silence say anything? Not yet.
Not yet. What are the plans, big dog?
The plans are to cut it up together and put it
Okay,
out there, but I gotta get certain permissions from
sure.
different people because it, although I was filming it, it was somebody else's event, so I gotta
Okay.
get certain permissions first, and I'm still kind of waiting on that. In actuality, but
Okay.
laziness, kind of kicked in there too.
Well, we talked about that a couple Fridays ago. I
Yeah.
remember that. So now, so that's another trailblazing thing that you've done because that's something, well, it was 50 years, but
Yes.
that's something that no one else probably haven't done in terms of the whole thing, that whole last day, and be
Right.
able to get that out. So you are truly a thinker, a trailblazer, an entrepreneur. You're going to school now for film.
Yep.
What is the plan after, or Joan, have you, what's the plans? What's your
I
plans
am
for film?
I am more into documentaries. I
Okay.
mean, I've been interviewing people for almost 4 years now, same as you,
Hmm.
and I just love the stories. Everybody have a story. You have a story. I have a story. Sabrina has a story. Alfreda has a story. And although some of them line up the same, the way the person tells their own story is so unique. And the more important thing, they need to get their story out before somebody else tells it.
Yeah. 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 Agreed. Let me look at some comments here. Some LinkedIn is acting up, so some of the comments from LinkedIn are not showing up. But my wife says, "Love the name and love you're here."
Thank you.
The big dog.
I grow my, tell the wife I grow my hair because I can.
That's
Some
right.
people lost that privilege years ago.
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
losing
see,
that.
you one of them.
I'm losing that privilege quickly. Quickly losing it. So that's why I
Alfreda's
have to
asking
cut
when
it
is
down
the next.
shortly.
Alfreda's asking when is the next comedy show.
Yes.
It is going to be the 23rd of March, and it's going to be on Zoom. I'm going to get all the information out, and we're going to post it here. But if you go to veteranslaughsmatter.com, you will see all the information pertaining to the show.
And it's veterans last matter or
Yes.
laughs?
Laughs.
Laughs matter. Okay. Okay. And I'll post that
Yes.
in as well so that folks can know where to go. Now, you're also known, Harry, as the connector. Tell us, what is that about and where did that come from? Because you are, well, there was that commercial that was called the most interesting, it was saying the most interesting man in the world. That's you. So,
I thank you for that. Well, as you see in the last 20 minutes or so, I like to laugh and I like to smile. And it is contagious with people. People like to be around people who brings smiles on their face. So, you know, I'm a big time networker. So with the personality of smiling and the networking, I introduce because I meet so many different people. I meet so many different people who do so many different things, from lawyers to comedians to mechanics to electricians. So when somebody is looking for some another service, they would call and ask me, and oh yeah, I know somebody, you know, tell them I said, or I'll make the connection through one of the social media outlets, whether it's LinkedIn, Facebook, or text message. And that's where that connector thing came
came
in.
from.
I,
That's
I'm a big component of relationships.
okay.
It is a slow process, but I think it's so worth it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's not that
Especially,
I don't need you for this show and I'm never going to talk to you again.
mhm.
No, we've already been connected for how many months now? It could be closer to a year now.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. And came through Erica and others, and then
Hmm.
Jason, the Jason Hodge, and then yourself. So that's fantastic. Now, when we talk about leading from the front, the trailblazer, these are all the things that you've done, Harry, are doing from an entrepreneurial standpoint.
Yep.
You have a T-shirt there called "Dope," and one of the other things that people may not know about you is that you also make T-shirts,
Yeah, I made this
right?
one.
Right. So how can
Yeah.
someone, if someone wants to, and I know we asked you this before, if someone wants to purchase some of those T-shirts from you, Harry,
I
you
am
will have
actually,
it online that they'll buy
yes.
some, right? Okay.
Yes, I'm gonna make a limited amount of T-shirts for the Veterans Laughs Matter show,
Mm.
and I will be selling them. I gotta kick that laziness to the curb for just a little bit, and do that for everybody.
Well, we are going to pray that you kick that laziness not just for a little bit, but for a lifetime.
I need some rest too.
Because right behind you, you have what? Realize how good you really are. And
And I
that's
like to. The reason why we're and you see when we're on Fridays, I
mhm,
usually have a shirt that says something, either dope or whatever. But I like constant reminders, and this is to me. Realize how good you really are. It is just a constant reminder that I'm dope
that's
because I
right.
can see it.
That's right. Good. That's a great reminder. It's putting it into yourself. It's what we call more positive affirmations
Mm-hmm.
of speaking it because it starts in the mind and then the body takes over. Let me give a couple of shout outs here that's watching on uh, LinkedIn. Shout out to, hey, a great friend, a good friend of mine that I met, I think in 2022, Leslie Culver. Shout out to her.
Okay. Hey,
Um,
Leslie.
yeah, and let's see who else is out here. As far as I can see, Terry Ann is on. Shout out to Terry Ann and all of our those that have comments, Alfreda, Sabrina, and everyone else that's watching. Thank
That's
you.
watching.
Yeah, Harry, as we wrap up, is there
Mm-hmm.
so there are two things that I'm going to ask you now. The first thing is there something to let your last words to our viewers and listeners, number one. And then secondly, we'll play our rapid fire. So any last words to our listeners and our viewers?
There's a quote from Abraham Lincoln that I love so much. Whatever you are, be a good one.
Hmm.
And that's
Yeah,
whatever you are. And I like that so much. I didn't understand it when I first heard it. It took some time for it to soak in, but it is so deep to me.
now that's a good one. That's a fantastic one. Thank you for that. And lastly, Harry, what I'm going to give you 4 or 5 different questions, and we call this rapid fire. So don't even think about it. Just let it
I
go. All
I
right.
never think anyway, so go ahead.
But you're the trailblazer.
Yeah.
You right. So let's talk about it. Your favorite food.
All.
All okay. All right. All food. Okay. That's good. Favorite place to vacation, Harry.
I went to Hawaii earlier last year in April, so that became my favorite place because the weather is so dope.
Yes. That's also my favorite place. All right. Favorite type of music. And I know probably know what you're gonna
Disco.
say. Disco. Wow.
Yes.
And not hip hop, huh? Disco.
Not hip hop. Disco is the favorite. Hip hop is a love, but disco
Okay.
is the favorite.
All right. So your favorite disco artist of all time.
Bee Gees?
Hmm. Very good. Very good. Okay. All right. Harry, last but not least, last book you've read, leadership or entrepreneurial book?
Ah, that's hard because I don't read. I
Okay.
watch videos and I'm more audio.
Okay. All right. So last book
But I
or
did get the guy from AppSumo. He just
I
put
can't
out a
remember his name.
book and it's I wish I would have sat it here because I'm gonna read that one. So if you ask me this in about another year, I'll probably be done finished it.
All right, Harry. Harry, I want to thank you so very much. Sabrina says, "Oh,
Staying
staying alive."
alive, yes, yes.
Oh my gosh.
Ah.
Oh my God. Wow. Listen. Uh, uh,
Ah, Sabrina say, yes, Harry, you are dope.
you are dope. You are
Thank
dope.
you.
And
We miss
Stephanie
you on
says,
Fridays.
Mrs. J says, your story is very inspiring. Your transparency will bless others who may be suffering with PTSD.
Yes. And that is really why I do this
Yeah,
because it has to be put out and I just want people to realize what a little bit of what we go through on
sure.
a daily basis. And if that can happen, which it will happen, then I am satisfied. If I save one person from getting those nasty thoughts out their head, my job is done because that one person affects so many a mother, a father, a husband, a wife, a brother, a sister, friends. Ah,
Yeah, yeah. Well, you just keep on fighting. All right. Say that again in terms of the date and time for our listeners
the
and
date and
viewers.
time, March 23rd, 2024. The time, 7 p.m. CST, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and what is that? Pacific, 5 p.m. Pacific Time if you're on the West Coast. And go to veteranslaughsmatter.com and you'll see all the information there.
Great. Harry, thank you so very much for spending time on this episode, episode 186, with the title Leading from the Front. You are truly a trailblazer in everything that you do. So thank you.
Let me tell you
Go
one
ahead.
thing about
Sure.
this number. When I went in the army, this was my weight.
Wow.
186.
186. Well,
How
look at
amazing
that.
is that?
Yeah. Wow. Wow. Everything aligns. There's no coincidence. Everything aligns. There's an alignment. Sabrina says
Thank you,
this is
Sabrina.
your mission, Harry, helping those with PTSD, and I do agree. I concur with that. Not just your mission, but your purpose in
Yes.
life. So
Thank you.
so so congratulations, Harry, and again, thank you for coming onto the 30. May God continue to bless you and your family. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. So we've been talking to Harry, the big dog, Jamison. Make sure that you go out, and we will drop that website in the chat. Make sure that you go out and get more information about the comedy benefit that he's doing for himself, but more importantly for other veterans. It's a very important cause. And if you have any questions, I'm sure that the website will give you some answers and also support it. Whether you are a sponsor or you're attending, make sure that you support this very important cause because there are a lot of people that will depend on it and that are hurting and suffering because of PTSD. So thanks for Harry trailblazing and leading from the front. Well, folks, I told you last time before we end that we are going to be doing something, and I mentioned it on last week. But come this month in February, later on this month, we are going to be kicking off our group coaching program, Impact Group Coaching, and I'm going to drop the link here in the chat, so you can go to this particular site, register, and what we'll do is to follow up with you. there's a difference between coaching and training and mentoring. Each of us needs to have a coach, whether it's an individual one-on-one coach or whether the process of group coaching, because there's some things that we miss, whether you're a leader, if you're an executive leader, if you're a manager or supervisor, whatever leadership role that you play, or even you are in business for yourself. There are some things that we need help with. We don't know it all. We don't see it all. But what the coach can do is to help you to see some things. They're not going to tell you what to do, but they'll ask you the right types of questions to bring you to a point of awareness. So if that is you, we would love to have you to join our group coaching. Go to that link, sign up or register. We will get you more information. We'll follow up. Someone from our team will follow up and give you more information. So we look forward to having you as part of this program. This is our second cohort. This is our first one for 2024. And we would love to have you to be part of it as we help you to take you from where you are to where you desire to be and where you should be as a leader. So until then, thank you. We will see you next week where we'll have another inspiring, trailblazing story as those leaders that are leading from the front. As you know, February is also in terms of celebration of Black History Month, and happy Black History Month celebration to all out there. May God bless you and keep you. Be safe. We'll see you next week. Deuces.